All right, we are live, and Chris should be hopping in soon. And so, as y'all come in, holler at us, let us know. Um, Sweet, Warren is in. Hey, Warren, quick question. Are you going to be are you going to be at the DNC convention in August? I'm very curious. I really kind of want to go, so I'm trying to plan it out now because if I'm gonna go, I probably should, get my ducks in a row. That way, it won't be as expensive to do it now. What the heck? But that's what I'm. Let's see. Did the stream pop up? Make sure. Okay, all right. I'm seeing y'all. Okay, we're live. Okay, cool. It was showing me something weird up at the top. Oh, that one didn't click. The rock fan side. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm seeing y'all come in. You just gotta wait for Chris to make his way in. But yeah, I'm thinking about making that trip to the convention in Chicago. So let me know. Do I want to come dig in the tunnel? I don't know. I mean, but you can report to us live from the tunnel. Let us know what's going on, all the inner workings. Yeah, that's what it is. It's that manual start shit. And because I didn't go over there and set it up, I'm wondering, did I even hit? Wondering, did the rock film would even start? I don't know. I think I probably forgot to go on over there. But let's see. Where Chris? We're under Warren's apartment right now. From trending news. I didn't know you had a channel, Chamonique. Um, then we should collaborate. I'd love to have you on here sometime. Where the hell is Chris at? Let me send Chris a call. Call him live. As y'all can see, I'm rocking my Game of Thrones shirt because I'm ready for the next episode to come on tonight. I hope so. And I'm not reading that comment out loud, Yanina. Oh, I guess it did click on. So I don't know. I don't want to answer his question until he hops back in. Well, you are the access point we dig through Chicago at. Wow. Y'all are funny. Y'all are hilarious. Chamonique, what kind of stuff do you talk about on your channel or on your news? Mm-mm-mm. Yes. What stuff do you talk about on on trending news? So I'm all about doing collaborations with other channels. They're pulling. Whoa, man, y'all having a Randy Sunday. Talk about several topics in Spanish and in English. I have a second channel as well. Okay, yeah, yeah. There's plenty of topics that I would like to bring over to topics definitely within. I don't want to just box it into only stories in Latin America, but I definitely do want to cover more of those, and bring them to the English speaking audience. That way, we get more attention to the different stuff that's talked about, so that more of the Western audiences, the Western non Spanish speaking audience, can be more familiar with what's going on. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast. So America isn't the world currency reserve currency anymore. Well, it still is for a time period, but I think when it changes from that, it's gonna be like almost instant, and the ramifications are gonna be crazy, to say the least. That's what I expect. See, I thought Chris was gonna come through. No, Chris. Mm-mm. I hear voices and I hear voices around me. Gotta check, make sure they don't take me away. So, talk about a world war. Yeah, that's what I perceive coming. They can't print money anymore. It's all counterfeit now. I mean, it's always been, but on steroids. Yeah, it's just they can keep printing and it's real. Now, the value of said money just leads to it just lends to
Yeah, for whatever reason, it wasn't showing on my browser. It was weird as fuck.
Midnight Karma said you got lost in the tunnel.
Yeah, it was weird as hell. But no, the tunnel closed. I wish the tunnel was open.
No,
But
no, no.
no,
It's a new tunnel apparently that they got open under Warren's apartment.
man, look, that shit is whack. We out here in South Florida, we outside. We don't even need a tunnel. We got the sun. Marcus, I promise you, if you fucking ever come down here and you come outside with me,
It might be sooner than you think. Honestly, it
I have
might be
no
sooner
running
than you
mates.
think.
One of the things that has made me sad in the past several weeks is that my brother has to move to Europe.
What part?
He has to move to Amsterdam.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
interesting.
he has to move out there. My brother typically just flies from New York down here, knocks on my door, says, "What's up, y'all? I'm here," or I'm down in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, anywhere, and I can always see my brother. But he's going to be tied up in Amsterdam now. So, it's like I don't have no running mates down here. None. So I'll be outside.
Yeah, and Trey been on the road lately.
You know what's funny? I was talking to him earlier, right? And I said to him, now that you've been on the road throughout the entire country, don't you see that things are very different than how it is here? Just the look on his face and the way that he described the things that he experienced on the road is crazy. Yo, he just told me a story earlier today. He was in Oklahoma. They stopped the tunnels full of fudge. Ugh. I'm sure it is now. Warren, please. I need more. Oh, God. No. Warren, please behave yourself. If you're giving us personal experiences, please save that for, some kind of after night chat, Warren. But right now, pause. We're not on that. But I know you've got a great sense of humor.
Y'all are a hot mess right now.
Oh, you know what, Marcus? I wanted to bring up exactly what Baba said real quick. Did you see they bombed? Well, let me pause before I say anything too crazy. There was an incident, I think it was in Crimea. Did you see where there seemed to be either a bomb or debris went off on the beach in Crimea?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it just came out. Like they say it's U.S. weapons, and there people were on the beach, and it looked like a drone strike or some shit like that. People on the beach in Crimea, and people died, people got injured, and shit like that. But they are saying Ukraine did this. However, I have seen conflicting reports since the time came out that although they are U.S. based weapons, that the weapon was fired via Ukraine, but the Russian anti-missile system took it out, and the debris is what actually fell on the beach and caused the loss of life and the destruction. But anyway, it was I thought you would have saw this because most people are like, oh shit, US and Russia about to get into war. These were civilians who were bombed. So I don't know. I don't have enough information yet. And I've learned from growing up in the era of September 11th, you have to control your emotions. You have to control your emotions very well. You have to allow logic to win over your emotional response, even if that means that you're not on YouTube or Twitter or TikTok or any of these apps first. At least make sure when you do come on to discuss these apps that you are right. Let me repeat that. It doesn't matter if you're first. It just matters whether or not you are correct. So I don't want to come out here and saying some crazy shit that the U.S. bombed the beach in Crimea and killed all these civilians. I'm saying there are multiple stories right now, but what we do know and can confirm is that people on a beach in Crimea have been injured and died as a result of some sort of military action.
Just sounds like a crazy situation. Crazy.
Oh, I'll pull up the video. Oh, you didn't see the video. I'll pull it up for you because the video.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. You keep going, dog. I got you.
Here, let me hop back on.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jira, can you send her channel? Just DM it to me. That'll be easier because I'll have to go back and try to pull up the live stream and go through and all that. So it'll just be easier to send it to me. I can go check out her channel from there. But I don't know. The report that I read, it said shrapnel that came down. So I don't know if the U.S. did it or if Ukraine did it with their weapons. It gives the U.S. a little bit of plausible deniability to say, "Oh, we didn't tell them to do that." I mean, yeah, we gave them the weapons, but we didn't tell them to attack Crimea. Or if actually, no, it don't give them the out. Well, sort of. It's still a fig. It's like a half a fig leaf because they did give the go ahead for them to attack mainland Russia, and they could say that, well, this was shot down en route to hitting mainland Russia, but fell on Crimean beach instead. So I honestly think Russia is trying their best to not go to war. They don't want to. I don't believe Russia or China wants to. But I believe the West is so belligerent, they're going to eventually force their hand.
Marcus, this is what I've been saying. And, you and I, not that we got into it, because, we may disagree, but, we're never going to get into it.
We'll not get into it, but we just a point that we've kind of always disagreed on.
Disagree. You know what I mean? Dog, Russia and China, dog. At what point they going to put on their sneakers and lace up and step on the court?
But how long have I been saying this, though?
You have. That's why I'm asking you in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody don't ever think that Marcus and I don't actually for real get along. Like we are.
Oh no, this is my brother right here. Much love.
Like we tight. Pause.
Tight. But you even the closest person you have to you, there's gonna be just some shit y'all just don't agree on. And it don't have to be like a disrespect.
Look what a Trez said.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I'm telling you what it is, And like how people talk about BRICS right now, is BRICS is this economic thing, and they trying to keep it
Yo,
economic.
E, what's up,
Yo, we
man?
got a manual in the building too.
Yo, E,
Hey,
what's up, man?
E, if you want the link to hop on, let us know. Hey, Ladarius, you want to hop on too? Let us know. Actually, you know what? Anybody want to hop
I
on?
did
Let me
say
know.
pause, right? I said pause,
Yeah,
right?
pause. Um,
If I didn't,
to
then please. But I believe I did say
anybody
it.
would like to join the show. Okay, is that better? Anybody would like to join the live stream? Let me know, and I'll put the link in the chat for y'all. But
Because I saw the Ayo coming from E, and I can
I
almost hear Ayo. That's how he must have would. That's how he probably said it. So that's how I heard it. You know
oh
what I
yeah, you
mean?
you you heard it right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah. So
oh shit,
pause
Ultra
off.
said he'll hop on. No Diddy and all that. But
Yeah,
I've long said that the U.S. their mentality, or not even the U.S. the West in general, they can't stand losing. And we all play for those of us who play pickup ball on the street. I don't know if that sounds weird or not. I don't know. Who play, who played street ball, and y'all playing your team lined up against this team, and a lot of trash talking has happened, and it's getting the final point. You up by one, got to win by two, and you about to score that final bucket. And then the hard fouls start coming in, and people start whining and complaining and calling all kind of stuff. This is what the U.S. is doing right now, and they're ready to start throwing hands because they just can't stand to lose. China and Russia and all of these other, they're getting to a point where economically they're about to pull that checkmate. And the issue is that checkmate coming, the West is they refuse to lose. I mean, for those who know about what happened with Japan, Japan is an
Marcus,
ally.
who's running? Marcus, who's
Japan is
running
an
foreign
ally,
policy?
and they cut their knees off.
Marcus, who's running foreign policy here? Because during the Bush era, and even to some extent during the Obama era, I could tell you who was running foreign policy. Who's running foreign policy today?
You want a direct, brutal answer?
No, I'm just saying, like,
I'm just going to give you as clear of an answer I can give you.
yeah.
Israel.
Okay, so you think we've gone from partial or half Zionist foreign policy to 100% we're locked and loaded
I don't even think that
Zionist.
I don't think that we've ever really even been partial. I think it's always been more than partial. The thing about it is most people probably didn't understand how this benefited the Zionist agenda. But I
So I
feel
think
like,
when
well,
people, so Marcus, if people were to have watched this show for as long as we have, one of my favorite topics to bring up is PNAC, Project for a New American Century.
mhm.
If people go back and look up Project for New American Century and see to where that group is aligned with, they are 100% Zionist. So if you look at PNAC and what their agenda was, it 1000% aligns with the Zionist agenda. And we have not deviated from that at all. So, I kind of asked my question in jest, but Marcus went ahead and actually answered it in a way that is very informative for everybody. We have removed the shade from
Mhm.
the Ashkenazi Zionist agenda that our foreign policy uh, pursues.
And for those who think, oh, well, you just been anti-Semitic. No, you can look literally at what prime ministers from Israel have wanted done, and you have seen the United States go and do these things.
Mhm.
Every country that we have a beef with, this is a country which there has been a beef with through Israel. I
Yes.
mean, short of what? North Korea, Venezuela, a couple of those. But when it
No, but
comes down to the
Venezuela under Chavez was very much vocal against the treatment of the Palestinians, and this is going back from the time Chavez
true,
took power.
true,
So they have always had an issue with that part of Venezuela, which is by no coincidence the
but
brown
that's been.
people and the black people.
I agree. I agree. But the reason, and it could, I think sometimes it's not always singularly one reason. I do know for a fact, like when I hear people talk about Venezuela, nobody talks about how the Koch brothers have been, funneling money into the pockets of our lawmakers to kneecap that country and do everything they can to try to, make that country crumble. And not only them, but many countries in South America. That's what they have been doing. And it is for acquiring and stealing resources. And I don't know if y'all remember when we used to have Shadow Ban on. Ban would break down
Well, whatever
about
happened to
the
Shadow Man
sweet.
and his lady and all of them? They all disappeared, but shout out to them. I don't know if
Mhm.
people still talk to them, but tell them, we said what up. Personally, I don't have no
Yeah,
beef with anybody on here, except for that
because there's a
motherfucker, except for that weird variant of a person, right? That's the only person that I would say I feel a way towards on this. Other than that, everybody else, I don't.
yeah, right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. The Koch brothers have been trying their best to be able to get their hooks into Venezuela so that they can get that crude oil because and Shadow Band could explain this 10 times better, but I'll try to do my best impersonation of him for that. You have
Senora
different types. Yeah.
Marcus, this is for Senora. A lot of Germans left Germany from the late 30s, 40s, and they went to South America, Argentina in particular. So, out of all of the countries in Casolaro, no, we have not. But going back to Argentina, if you want to talk about all of the countries in South America, you can make your comments about Brazilians, Colombians, and all the rest of them. But let me tell you, the Argentinians are the ones who most dislike black folks. They're the most racist. And that's because a lot of them they come from Europe and they come, well, not just Spain, but they come from Germany in particular. And if you look at a lot of the last names of Argentinians, it's not the same last name that you see throughout the rest of South America. They are very Eurocentric last names of those in Argentina when you compare to Brazil or you compare to Colombia or Uruguay or any of the other countries, Chile or any of the other South American countries. There's a
Mm-hmm.
much larger German, uh, line there. It's the same with Middle America, right? Kansas and all the rest of it. There's a huge German influence there too, or at least a lot of uh, people who come from Germany went to that part of the country.
Well,
And
and I
Marcus
would
can tell
say
me whether I'm lying or not.
no, no, you're not lying. I mean, and there part of them have been communities that have been there a little bit earlier, kind of like World War I, kind of leaving around that time period, like the early 1900s, but definitely an influx once about 1910 and then 1920 and then 1930, 1940. You had a big, and then you had a big chunk that left even after that until like the 1950s, and that's where a lot of those immigrants in the Midwest came. Also, I would say that those Germans, and not only Germans, I would say Germans, Poles, a bunch of those Hungarians, all of them who fled into parts of South America, and that also led into Chamonix last night was talking about Argentinians in Mexico, and I'm like, that some of those Argentinians that came initially from parts of Europe are some of the ones who fled into Mexico and who have brought even the accordion and all that. That's where that comes from. What is this?
Did you see this, Marcus?
Don't tell me it's something that we can't show. Hopefully not. What the hell is he doing?
Bye-bye, watch this. That's a Russian soldier.
Don't tell me you're going to put somebody getting murked on camera. Chris, you're going to get us restricted on that. Yeah, this going to be, this video might get taken down.
Really? Off of that?
Mm-hmm. Or
Wow.
at least get age restricted. I got a video that has less on it that got age restricted.
Yo, you know what's funny? Some of my son's friends, actually, I'm talking loud because I'm talking lower because they in the back. Some of my son's friends, they actually watch this and they be like, yo, Marcus's dad be knowing what the fuck he talking about sometimes because he be putting us on the game. Yo, Marcus, you know how funny that is to hear, and I hate to laugh after I just showed that video, but that was a Russian soldier who was just killed by a Ukrainian drone, right? And maybe because we just were able to viscerally see it, I see a lot of these, of course, white boy right-wing accounts, and all of the, the more we go, I'm sorry, white guys. No, actually, I'm not. There's a lot of white dudes or a lot of incels, and they live at home and they live in this fantastical world that they have, which is probably why they're not impregnating women and why they're just probably wasting their kids in their hand or in a napkin, right? They're talking about this saying like, oh, there's not that much honor in a drone killing. I'd rather die, facing a rifle. I'd rather a rifle take me out. And it's just like, Marcus, given the generation you and I are born into, what do you think they were doing to the people in Afghanistan and Iraq in 2000?
Damn it, I figured I was going to freeze at the wrong point.
And you did. It
froze me while I was blinking.
At the wrong point. But as we talk about drones and we just watched the video that we showed, what do you think them drones are doing in the year 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Shall I continue? What do we think these drones are doing? And the drones from the years that I just mentioned, is far more crude. It wasn't even probably, these smaller ones that had continued.
Well, yeah. These are what they call screw it, I'll just say it. What they call suicide drones.
Correct.
Before we had the drones, ones before that, it was Reapers. The Reapers were
which had Hellfire missiles.
Exactly. And that's not singularly finding the one enemy combatant and taking him out. That's like, yo, we're gonna take him out and everybody who's on that block with him.
Everybody who is within the next, 5,000 square feet radius are gone.
Yeah.
Well,
my thing when I hear anybody even say shit like that, it's like, when it comes to being taken out anyway, that's just nonsense. I would rather be taken out by whatever. You don't want to be taken out no kind of way. So stop the cap. You're scared. Most of these people are scared of death any damn way. So don't get on here online and try to act like, well, I would prefer this and the gentlemanly way of man. Shut up. Just stupid.
Correct. I was
I
looking for
mean,
the video. They
if
only
you
have
were,
a.
in fact,
They only. They
would you
only
rather
have.
go out? Would you rather go out through starvation? Because I'm pretty sure that's far worse.
Oh, for real, right? Watch this, Marcus. I mean, they don't have a better video.
Actually, hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone. I can't see the screen.
They
Like
don't.
when
They don't have a
mine
better
freezes like
video.
this, when mine freezes like this,
Yeah.
it freezes my screen too. I can't even see what's going on.
Oh shit. Okay, so
Yeah,
go
that's
to your
why
phone.
I'm gonna have to take my phone into whatever Apple sometime this week. Well, I got a couple of days off.
No,
I'm probably
that's
gonna
why
go in.
you should come over to Android. You know, you should leave Android. You should leave Apple alone. Apple
Well, this is from my MacBook.
Yeah, get rid of that. You know, at my
Yeah.
job, they gave me an option of having a Mac or a regular PC powered by Microsoft. And although I hate that guy, I had to choose a Microsoft
Microsoft
one.
pause.
Yeah, correct. You know, that's a good name for him, Microsoft. Pause. You know, that is a very good name for these people. And that's why they act the way they do, because they very much are Microsoft. Like, they don't understand what it's like to be able to, like, give a good stroke to the point to where, Shorty might have to, like, grab the sheets, or she might want to, like, leave her handprints on the back of your head or your neck. You know, if you're Microsoft, you would never understand that feeling from a woman. So, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little too graphic. I'll stop there. But yo, fix your screen, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this shit in. So
But
fucking
look,
annoying.
this is Crimea today. Let me put the sound on. There's a longer video, but not much. But just listen. That was at the beach today. I'll find the other video. You know what I mean? But something went down over there. And it doesn't look good that the weapon that was used is born in America, although it was shipped to Europe. It doesn't look good. Again, they keep like slapping Russia in the face. And people got all worked up because they said that there was Russian ships here off the coast of, from where I live.
Yo, what I reported last night is they got ships over in South Korea right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think what is it? The Teddy Roosevelt's over there.
The Roosevelt. Yeah. But even from where I live, off, southeast from where I live, if you took, if you had a good lens, you could probably see some things in the water that weren't American. I don't know. I wasn't concerned. I'll be honest. I know the higher power not going to take me by some kind of missile on the beach when I'm trying to work on my tan. You dig? That ain't gonna happen to me. Fuck that.
I mean, plus if you
they know I'll come back as Ghost Rider or somebody. I'll haunt the shit out of everybody. Fuck that. Fuck your mama, fuck your kids, all that. I'm coming for everybody. If you do me like that or my few people like that, yeah, we coming for you.
Let's see.
Marcus, what's up, man?
Oh no, I was trying to check something on my phone real quick. Checking
I'm
over.
gonna remove you. I'm gonna remove you.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I had to remove him, so hopefully that he gets back right. But I don't know if you guys saw what happened today. But, it's just a little bit unfortunate that people lost their lives while they was chilling on the beach. No, I don't. how can I say? I don't understand the foreign policy fully, and I don't understand the foreign policy of these other countries. But it very much seems like they're trying to erase people and bring in people from other nations to replenish the citizens in these particular countries. I don't know what it looks like from we know there's a Agenda 2030. What Agenda 2040 looks like, I have no idea, but I know it's going to be wild. Everybody's going to be connected to some. Everybody's going to be connected to some sort of device or a network. It's going to be very, very, very wild. For those of us born of a certain age, it's going to be very weird to us. For people who are born much later than us, maybe 2 to 3 decades after us, it'll be very much just a cool thing, just the next upgrade to the tech that they have. They don't view it as problematic as we do. They've been born in it. So, again, I've got a teenager, I've got a 20 some odd year old. They don't view it like I do at all. It's a very different world. So I hope that at some point, my people my age, we get it together and can figure out what the hell is going on here. I wish Marcus would hurry up and come back on. Miguel says, so is the U.S. behind the terrorist attack on Sevastopol, or how should Russia respond? There we go.
Yeah, I'm back, you mother sucker.
There we go. Apple gonna make the first slave collar, Chris. Oh yeah, we already know. The U.S., Miguel, to answer your question, the U.S. was not necessarily behind today's attack. It's just that the weaponry used in today's attack came from the U.S. And you say, how should Russia respond? Again, Russia should take it out on Ukraine because that's who used it against them. Marcus, I broke the seal. I got to go piss. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that it's not much that I'm not gonna say it's not much that they can do. I say the best thing that they can do is they just need to go all out as far as, and I'm not saying that they should go after the civilian population in Ukraine, but it's about time that they start going after political leadership in Ukraine. That's what I would say, because a lot of people don't think about this. That yes, military combatants or military war, in a sense, is just when verbal communication breaks down, it's still a form of diplomacy. War is a physical, violent form of diplomacy, and so what's the key word in diplomacy? Diplomats. Diplomats equal politicians. Therefore, y'all the ones who have decided for this course of action. Therefore, your leadership at some point needs to be taken out, because if you just keep taking out Ukrainian soldiers, they're just going to try to get some mercenaries or try to do this or eventually take America. You need to take out that leadership, and then a leadership which doesn't want to see the eradication of their population can possibly rise up and say, you know what? We not playing this game. Okay. We are not playing this game. So that's the only way to de-escalate it. In this case, since the pain has already started, it can only be started with applying enough pressure until we get something to break. Yeah. Oh, he's seen that. Chris, I seen you verbally slapping around the FBA folks. Well said, bro. I'm thinking about clipping my portion, what I said, and throwing that up too, because Chris got me to unlock and lay into some of my theories on what I wanted to say. And Um, Chris thought that he went long. I talked double as long as Chris did on that subject, and I love to see how the FBAs feel about what I have to say. He said my lineage is FBA, but I hopped out of that Twitter algorithm a few years ago because that movement proved to me to be non-constructive. That's exactly what I was saying. It's like outside of pushing for reparations, what are y'all focused on? Y'all next priority, and not like a distant second. Like I honestly feel like y'all put more energy into so-called gatekeeping the community, but it's not anything that's tangible. It's like, well, Black Americans started this. It's more talk than anything. It's not resulting in any kind of action. It's not how can we physically take steps to improve and help our community. I'm not seeing anything tangible, even on the reparations front. It's just a lot of talking and making the argument on why reparations is owed. There's no strategy on how they're going to get from the talking about it to actions on how to try to manifest this into something. And my thing is, especially with a lot of FBA, they're not faith-based people. So if you're not faith-based, then you need to be working on some course of action. Whether you feel that's going to be trying to apply some kind of pressure through politics and getting it through some kind of legislation, whether you're going to try to get it through legal means, I don't know what the goal is, but we need to focus. I feel they need to focus on actually making this tangible on the goals and try to actually show how they're going to execute these goals. Exactly. Yeah, the focus is delineation, which doesn't amount to much of anything. Yeah, I mean, I watched was it Tariq Nasheed for his Juneteenth rally. They talked about reparations, had a bunch of people out there and raised like 50,000 that's going to God knows what.
Marcus, 30
And
seconds.
him. Yeah, you good. And him plugging his movie. And so I'm just not seeing the FBA crowd as serious. In fact, if anything, I honestly feel that they're almost becoming a detriment to the Black community because they're spending a lot of time focusing on people who we have beefs with, and just like brothers, sisters, families, cousins, aunts, uncles, you're gonna have beefs within a family. And so when you start talking about any kind of alliances that you can have and people who could possibly be an ally to get into some of these things that we believe that we should strive for, they're spending more time instead of focusing on the people who are trying to help. Let's focus on the people who are not helping or the people that you feel are the problem. And it's such a negative focus. Instead of focusing on oh well, this one Mexican that said something that you don't like. What about these other 15 who are here helping and who are here contributing? I mean, who are here frequenting your business and who are helping you get towards that goal? Maybe even if it's indirectly, they're still helping you. And so I just feel like the focus is so wrong. But Darius says reparations, we can't even get off work for Juneteenth. Facts. Yeah, if we can't even get Juneteenth to be a day off work for Black people, reparations is like that's almost like a pie in the sky dream. I mean, and then I look at also how can we make the argument on reparations and all that, and we're not stopping the situation that happened up in the Bay Area with the kids shooting up 15 people. We got so much internal issues that we need to deal with. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of powerful Black role models and leaders, and there's plenty of people who are doing excellent things. But unfortunately, we're judged on the negatives of our community. And I always looked at it as the weakest link, in the chain. You guys know how it goes. We got to focus on our weaker links and strengthen and build that. And when we can start to build those things up, then we can start to build towards other things. Um, that's just my say so on it. I could be wrong. Y'all could agree with me, disagree, but and my cousin, he's here in the chat. He can attest. I get how in different regions of the country, different people have their different interactions with different people groups. But when I was growing up, we had no black and brown beef. There wasn't no beef along those lines. Now, was it gang shit that people were in? Yeah. But outside of that, if you weren't involved in that life, you weren't dealing with on some racism on black versus brown and brown versus black. You weren't dealing with that. I wasn't used to seeing that until I got out till I saw people in Texas or out in California. They were the ones who were bringing a lot of that nonsense. Now, granted, you do have some of that which comes from immigrants coming into the country, but I had so many people who I grew up with that was not on none of that shit who were Mexican. And so for me, it was alien to run across some of the beefs and some of the stuff I see, on that toxic ass site, Twitter. I just look at it as this thing is set to just bring division and bring negativity in all aspects. What's up, Lone Star? See, Lone Star's in the building. Chris H said, "Did I miss Chris going off on a particular subject?" Yeah, Chris laid in on the FBAs, and he's kind of been frustrated with it. I've been frustrated with it. Every now and then we see these like names which are getting really, really big, if not already big on Twitter, and they spout so much negativity. And as Sox said, the delineation type stuff. Oh well, their father was a Jamaican, so therefore they ain't our people. And I said that we focus so much on banging on the person who is right next to us instead of the person who is up here who's giving us the problems. I mean, I use the analogy. It's like me complaining about not getting a better paycheck with the employee who works right next to me instead of being mad at the boss who hired me. That's the person who's in charge of my paycheck. People worry about, well, who started hip hop? But you don't worry about the record execs who's making all the money and who's taking advantage and exploiting the black community. That's not the focus. They're just mad because because KRS-One gave some Jamaicans and some Puerto Ricans credit for additions that they did in helping hip hop. And I'm like, if that's what we own right now, I mean, that's like even some of now granted, for some people who live in the California area and LA area, y'all might have to forgive me for some of my ignorance on maybe some of this stuff. But they were talking about how Kendrick's pop-up concert did so much in uniting different factions in California and at least putting a pause on the beef that's been going on between, different sets. All I see is people who are super happy over deposing a culture vulture in the hip hop arena, while out on the California streets you got plenty of black and brown people, and since these people only care about black people, plenty of FBA people who are struggling and starving, who are homeless all over this area. So at one token,
they all they're all messed. There's a lot of them that are messed up. You know what I'm saying? Lone Star, what's up, man? Nah, Chris, you didn't miss me going off. I heard Marcus mention FBA, and that's one of my that's one of the things that I've been going off lately, at least about those online, because offline, the people who are Black Americans, those are some of my closest people. Those are people I call my brothers. Those are people who I know their parents, I know their grandparents, aunts and uncles. They know mine, vice versa, etc. So I'm never talking about them. I'm talking about that new crop that's online with the Twitter fingers who sound dumb as fuck. They're the ones who today said that MC Shan is not a legend. Okay,
Mm.
and I have to say that most of the FBA niggas who sound stupid as fuck, most of them got to be from down south or the Midwest. They can't be from the Northeast.
I'm
There
not.
is
Well,
reason.
no, no. Don't put that in. Don't put that Midwest on us.
No, I'm not talking about you or anybody that you would know per se, but I'm just saying the ones that get on the internet with the Twitter fingers who sound really stupid and ignorant, they gotta be Bammers. I'm from New York. When we stepped out of New York and we met other niggas, we called them Bammers. It's these Bama niggas who don't know nothing about, the
Hmm.
culture outside of
That's what I'm
where they
saying. What I'm seeing is a lot of this, and like for instance, take Tariq for instance. Tariq was going off on KRS One for giving Buster and other people credit for hip hop. When KRS One is from New York, is a New York legend. And where's Tariq from? Tariq was born in Detroit and grew up in Alabama. I, you think that you know more about the hip hop scene than somebody who
in New
was
York
there,
City. Correct.
and that's the problem. That's where a lot of this that I'm seeing. And then I saw somebody said in the chat, and I'm like, he just told on himself right there. He was like, "Yeah, but in the pen, they be you what." You're trying to take your prison beef shit and bring that to the outside and make everybody have to do that. And I've talked to plenty of people out here on the West Coast, and they said they used to be cool. Black and brown was cool, but that prison shit, the beef that starts in prison, they come home and like, yeah, little homie, you can't talk to him no more. And I'm like, I don't care what was going on with you in your prison life. I'm not in prison. I have no plans of not going to prison. I don't want to know shit about prison. You keep your bullshit over there. Quit trying to come out here and poison everybody else to your thinking and your world. And I'm telling you, I feel like a lot of these people, that's where this is coming from the South and from the West Coast.
That's where I think a lot of it is coming from. It's 1000% throughout the South and certain places in the West Coast. And
Now
if you know
I'll
anything,
say I think a tiny bit of it you can say maybe Chicago,
a
maybe
tiny,
Chicago,
a
but I'm
tiny
not
bit.
I'm telling you, most of the Midwest is not on this at all.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? What did he say? I'm from the West, but I know Shan is a legend. Somebody was in the chat like, who is MC Shan said, yo, me and LL Cool J looked at the fucking Boricuas and the shit they was wearing, and we decided to pattern our shit after them. Do you know what it takes for a nigga to actually say, hey, I was looking at what Marcus was doing, and you know what? I actually copied Marcus's style. I bit Marcus's style because I thought his shit was so fly and so on point that I actually started dressing like Marcus. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what it would take for me to say that? That would mean that I had such high esteem or regard for what you was doing for me to even take from it. So when I see these people like Tariq and the rest of them talking how they talk and they not from the places that I'm from, I'm like, and cousin, FBA is Foundational Black Americans. That are the people who follow Tariq Nasheed and the like. That is what they call themselves, Foundational Black Americans. And they say that they are not they're not African. A lot of them are, they're saying now that they're native. to this part of the world. They're not African, they're the native.
Yeah, they're the natives, and not only were they're the natives, they are basically they're the originators of everybody of everywhere, the whole planet. And it's like this is just kind of snowballing into basically black supremacy, black American supremacy.
Yeah.
Yep. Once again, them
As
FBA
in
cats online are
followers.
just followers.
Yes.
Yep, Tariq Nasheed fanatics. And I'm at the point where I don't mess with Tariq and I don't mess with the other side either, Dr. Umar. Like I said before, until you get that school up and running, I don't want to hear nothing else out of your mouth. Get the school running and then we can hear from you. But you don't get that school, I don't want to hear nothing else.
Yeah, the FBA hates the Pan American, and the Pan American has been forced
Well,
to
Pan African.
respond.
It's actually
Pan
Pan African.
African, sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Pan African. I just saw the American. The
Mm-hmm.
Pan African, yeah, they have beef. And the problem with somebody like me is if I respond to the FBA the way that I actually want to respond to them, then that would make me sound like some of the white folk here, some of these crackers that hate Negroes. And um, I refuse to drop to that level because I know that there are systems at play that bring about certain outcomes, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to pretend that that system does not exist. The Pan Africans, because they come from wherever they come from, the government, the police, and everybody else looks like them. They don't understand what it's like to come up in America. So then they have very disparaging remarks to make about FBA people or ADOS
Which
people.
at least I will say the Pan Africans kind of come from everywhere. The black communities all over. It's a lot of Pan Africans in New York. It's a lot in the South.
Yeah,
It's a lot in the Midwest, and it's a lot on the West. So the Pan Africans kind of are equally distributed from all over the U.S. in a
but
sense.
look, if I'm critical of FBA and ADOS, I'll be critical of the Pan Africans too. Whether it's Jamaicans like my people, Nigerians, because as I've said on this program a lot of times, you Nigerians be out here kissing white people ass and on your knees. You got the best knee pads around. You become
I
doctors. You
out of
Nigerians
any
become
immigrants, I hate to say it, but Nigerians are the top level cooning.
yo. The Nigerians come out here, they buy their fucking gold plated knee pads and they become doctors. A lot of them do become doctors. They join with these
Or nurses.
practices or either or, but I'm talking about like the doctors so they could claim superiority, right? A lot of them become doctors. They join private practices of these white guys, and they're the ones who have to work the weekends, work the late hours. You can brag about being a doctor, but the white guy that you work for, he works the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. He's chilling. You got the shit
Wait a
hours,
minute,
okay?
9 to 5. You mean like 9 to 1 or like 10 to 1? They don't be working on nine
Correct.
to five.
Whatever their schedule is, you have to pick up their slack. So while you're talking, you're bragging because you live in Houston, South Florida, New York, and all these rest of you balling and all that other kind of shit. Just remember that you live around all white folk. You hang around nothing but white folk. You have to hide your culture to the you can't practice your culture to the full extent. So I just want to remind you of that because again, I know my shit. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. All of you be having to kiss ass. You go home, you talk to your wife, and you have to tell your wife how you don't like how he talks to you. You don't like how he schedules you. You don't like the way that he pays you for the amount of work that you do. But then you'll get online and talk shit about the American or the black American who lives in this society. So I would say before you fix your big ass lips to say shit and your wide noses to say shit, just make sure that you have your shit before you talk shit about people that set the conditions to make it allowable for you to come here and thrive in the way that you do, right? So people would listen to me and be like, "Dang, he be hard on FBA. He just got to be a tether." I hope for those people who think that you just listen to what the fuck I just said.
Well, I mean, the one thing which kind of blows my mind is like a lot of black leaders that were part of the civil rights movements and things like that in NAACP, they would be considered tethers now. And then you factor in, if you go back to when a lot of so-called FBA were running from plantations and trying to get away from slavery, plenty of granted, there is the asterisk that there were a handful of native tribes who did own slaves. Yes, that is a fact. But that's one thing about history. It's nuanced. It's not clean cut. There were natives on the other side who were helping, black people escape. There was also plenty of people who were south of the border in Mexico in particular who were helping black people escape. There's even the town Yanga in Mexico, which is their first president. The guy who started that area was a runaway slave from America. And so history is a lot more nuanced than I feel a lot of these people, like to acknowledge. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I look at who's the person who is stepping on everybody's head and who's giving us all grief. And that's where my eye is. That's who I'm looking at. That's who my beef is with. And if you got a problem with that person, then we can all click up and we can work together. But if you want to sit there with this crabs in a bucket mentality, pulling other people who are at the bottom down with you, then I opt out and you can do your own thing over there.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck with you if that is your perspective. You know what I mean? Even the people who say that they hate white people or Hispanic people or anybody who is not black. Quite honestly, I'm not with any hate ideology, because you live amongst who you live with, and you have to deal with the people who you live amongst. That's why I cannot just blanketly use a blanket to just, you know what I mean? I have to deal with everybody, especially given where I live, given where I grew up. I had to learn everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I look at things a little bit different than people who grew up in a very homogenized neighborhood. And it doesn't matter if you're all Dominican, Jewish, Puerto Rican, Irish, Italian, black, etc. It doesn't matter. I'm not a fan of a lot of white people.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Marcus, you've been seeing that girl who said she was like, you've been seeing the girl who went viral for saying that when the guy asked her what she do to please men, and she said she spit
the hawk too. I'm like,
she spit on.
I'll slap the shit out of you. Don't you pop no damn loogie on me. And I'm watching how many of these dudes that are like,
Marcus, let me keep it a buck. Yo, Marcus, I'll keep it a buck. Nah, don't spit on my joint. Me personally, I don't get off on that. Nah. So you can hawk to her elsewhere, but not over here. Like, yeah, nah, I don't. We can get nasty in different ways. You know what I mean? But that didn't really do anything for me.
Don't spit no loogies on me. I'm good with that. But that just let me know how many dudes out here on some freaky weird stuff. Because I heard a lot of people, I'm not calling no names, but I heard a lot of people was like, yeah, that's my type of girl. I'm like, okay.
Marcus, that's how you can tell the difference between people who deal with women and people who deal with women of the evening. Man. Honestly, that's how you could tell who deals with women and who deals with other people. Oh, there go a
Yo, we finally got my man on. What's up,
Yeah,
Atras?
What's up,
put
guys?
a Trez on there, man.
Nice to
Good,
join you
Trez,
guys.
what's
It's
good, man?
been wanting to do this for a while, but I have the time to today.
And I've been telling you, man, you always have the invitation, and when you get down here to LA, we definitely gonna go out and have some drinks.
Look, a Trez, look. We should kick him off the live stream because he think he cool, right? Because he got the window open, the breeze blowing, the curtain in the background. Yeah. Okay,
There's my
Trez, we
dog
get
right
it.
here.
Trez, we get it. You got money and you're cool. We get it.
I wish, man. I wish. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. I don't know if you guys. I don't want to throw the show off topic or anything.
No,
but,
man, you're good. No particular topic, but it's actually perfect timing because I was gonna probably go into some of that California like rent stuff that Chris asked about.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to join because I'm literally in that position right now. I'm moving out of my place. Girlfriend and I broke up, so
sorry to hear that.
Having a lot of identity crisis kind of stuff. Where do I live now? What do I want to do? Do I want to stay in California? It's expensive. But yeah, I've just been looking. Good.
Trez, without you revealing everything, like what you're at northern, mid, or southern California.
I live in the Bay Area, near San Francisco, probably just south of San Francisco, like 10 miles south of San Francisco. But I've been up here for like 10 years, actually. I grew up in Los Angeles, LA County, and I moved up here 10 years ago to finish school. I got into tech, and then tech is shit. So I've been... Yeah, it's just been hard. But yeah, I'm like trying to figure out what I'm doing next and looking for apartments as a single man in California with a dog is definitely not cheap. Definitely
good luck.
Yeah. I've been looking all over. I was looking in Long Beach, like a studio apartment is like a rundown studio apartment is like $1,400 for like maybe like a one in like Compton or something, and like run down. I don't know the area anymore and stuff like that, and it's like a dark box.
So what are you? So what are you talking about? Maybe 700, 800, 1,000 square foot plates.
Probably about 700.
Yeah.
Like just like a sink and a hot plate type of thing. I've even seen a lot of like studios in like downtown LA that it's just literally a room with like a sink and there's like a shared bathroom. And I'm like, that just seems weird as like old. I just turned 34. So as like a middle-aged man, it just feels weird. Seems like a pain to be in a prison, kind of. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
No, so it feels like very much like a dorm type of situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the dorm I had in college are nicer, and I had like my own bathroom. So
there's a lot of people who like rent out only a couch for you to sleep on. Like, yo, you can sleep on our couch in our living room, and that's about it.
Exactly.
Marcus, I don't think it depends on the city you live in. I would assume places like Austin, Texas, certain places in Oklahoma, maybe certain places in Carolina. But let me tell you, here in South Florida alone, between St. Lucie County, between Orange County and Miami-Dade County. Orange County is like Orlando, Miami-Dade is clearly Miami, right? The amount of people that have moved here have altered the rents to the point it makes no sense. People who make $80,000-$90,000 a year need and want roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't make that much money right now because I'm not working in in tech right now. So I work at a credit union And yeah, so it's going to be a big change.
That's not nothing. But Trez, that's not nothing for you to like shit on. Like, oh look at this clown. He works, right?
Yeah.
Like you make decent money. I'm sure the average person you meet either makes as much as you, or probably even a little bit below, and they don't have the what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the knowledge that you would have from working in these places that you pick up, right?
Yeah. It's
actually, you know what? I'm wondering, do you have experience with Adobe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna talk to you. You know what? I'm gonna send you a message on Instagram, and we're gonna talk because I might. Well, what I'm saying is, I might know an opportunity. I might know of an opportunity for him that could probably help him down here.
Yeah, I'm not like I've never went to school for Adobe, but I picked it up doing my thumbnails on my own channel. I've what's it called? I've done a lot of I've tried to start my own businesses and done all of the marketing, Instagram, for it and stuff. And I've just kind of picked it up. I've lately just been using Canva because it's much easier and it's free. But yeah, I've been doing Adobe and stuff since
let me tell you,
for years.
I've worked for lawyers for the past, I can't even tell you, decade plus, well over it. Almost 2 decades I've been working for lawyers and attorneys. Let me tell you, these people don't really know much of anything. We are the people who do all the fucking work for these people. The only thing that they know is that they're able to reference certain case law because they heard about it in school. They're not the most informed or intelligent people that you will work for. When I tell you this, I promise you, this is not a lie. This is not the words of a drunk person. This is somebody who has spent time in the trenches with certain people of certain professions. All this shit is based off who you know, who you're cool with, who you get money with, who your dad is cool with, who your uncle golfs with, who your brother joined the swimming team with. That is all this shit is. 1,000%. I've been working with attorneys for a long time. That's why a lot of my people ask me like, yo, why you not a lawyer? Why you never try to take the bar? What they say, familiarity breeds contempt. The level of contempt that I have for those people is beyond my height. Okay. Oh, I see Thomas out here. You know, Thomas, one of my favorite people. Pause. Thomas, what's good, man? I hope everything is well with you, man.
Yeah, that's the same thing with working in tech. If you don't know anybody there, especially right now, if you don't know anybody that works at the company and they're hiring, you're not getting it. No one's looking at your resume. And even before, when things were good, like in 2015, 2016, I was getting so many opportunities, recruiters all the time, trying to get me to, ditch the company that I was at that time. But same thing. I don't know. If you don't know anybody, it's kind of hard. It doesn't matter where you went to school. If you weren't in the right clique at school, and yet again, like you just said, Chris, if you weren't at the right clique and that, in your clique, there's someone's dad does this, that's your only way in. Your only way in.
Exactly. That is literally all the profession is. It is who your dad, uncle, cousin, aunt, mama, sister, niece knows. That is all it is. And Baba Yaga, I want to just say yes. Baba is on some shit. You are correct, Baba. You know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's all a scam and a racket. I mean, it's just a matter of going down the avenues to understand it. But the problem is, even though we know that there's so much money and power invested in this fake system, how do you get around it? It's the same thing with our election system. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
And so,
one
like,
1000%.
like I was gonna say, it's surprising when I got out here that even like a storage unit was super expensive. And I was like, why the hell is a storage unit super expensive? Mm-hmm. Well, because most people don't have anywhere to store anything. And so all the storage units get booked up. And then you have the extra preventative step that they have, because people would try to like hook an extension cord in there and just live in a storage unit.
When you read all of the documents that these people have to read, it is, as Baba is saying, it is very much some old British shit that they are swearing allegiance to. It has nothing to do with the country where we live. It has everything to do with that old world shit. You know, even in the 21st century, it is still very much based on some 18th, 17th century shit. We have not taken.
Have you seen those like reels or TikToks, whatever, like the meme type stuff of people? They talk about maritime law and like we're
the Moorish shit, all the things that have to do with the Moors.
Yeah, it's like we're not free people. We're part of a corporation. Like literally, you were born into water. That's why there's maritime law, and like you're not a person because it's all caps. If you go down those rabbit holes, it's like it's super interesting. Oh my god, it's crazy.
It really is when you realize like so much of how we live is based off maritime law. And you know that shit is just something made up on the fly because we're literally in the middle of this fucking ocean that we don't know how far we are from civilization. So we will just make a what's the word I'm looking for? We will create this situation, if you will. Sorry, because I'm not. I'm not on my highest level, but we will create this
state
situation in which we will all adhere to and benefit from, but it's really not anything. It's not anything that we should be adhering to. We should be creating our own system based on the facts on the grounds of where we are. So you have tobacco, you have mango trees, you have sugar cane, you have oil, you have coconuts, you have palm oil. Those are the things in which your society should be making money from. But we buy into the European system where the currency that they produce, we put stock into it. What I say, it doesn't need an armed rebellion to create the revolution does not need to be an armed resistance. It just needs to be a change in what you value. Simple as that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
what they valued, then the money means nothing.
Well, yeah, because if you can honestly get the people on one accord to do one thing, and I'm not even specifying the thing, I'm just saying if you can get all the people on one accord to understand a fundamental principle and get them all to act on this one thing, you could completely discredit the system and therefore lead to, I mean, it's the same way like the banking system. The banking system is all a fraud. It's you, for those who don't understand what I mean by the banking system as a fraud. when let's say all three of us here, and let's just just to get add a couple more. Let's see, Baba and Yonina, they're right there. So it's 5 of us. All 5 of us go in and we put our money in. There used to be that they had to save 10% of our wealth in the bank. After this last kind of banking crisis, they got rid of that. So now they can take 99% of our money and spend it. And so basically they're taking our money and they're gambling it on this on the in their casino, which is the stock market.
In their market. The crazy shit is, Marcus, it's their market, their money, their casino, everything. And they're like, hey, come spend what we gave you here and go into debt. And we're like, okay.
For those who don't understand what happened on Black Tuesday, which led to the Great Depression, all it was everybody at the same time said, you know what? Let's say if me, Atris, Chris, Yonina, and Baba all say, you know what? We all want our money back right now. We all went to the bank. First one of us get there, they're going to scramble together what money they have and give it to us. Yep. They don't have any more money left for the last 4 of us.
After they paid the 5 of us, the next 95,000 of you get nothing. You get a note.
And that's what leads to a run on the banks. Because and everybody starts running to the banks. Everybody takes their money out of the banks, and all of these systems completely lose their little fig leaf of a structure. That's what happened Marcus, with these recent bank runs.
Marcus, this is going to piss some people off, right? This is why we see this is why we see the hype beast shit for the LGBTQ community. Because the LGBTQ community does not, Yipper, you can rob my crib. The Alphabet Crew does not breed children. They're just highly sexual people who have whose volume is very loud with their opinion, but they do not produce life. The only thing about them is their sexuality, which is why we see an over representation of that community right now in our society. And because that society will put the focus on things that don't fucking matter. Whereas when you try to, which is why when you have a family, you have children, you're trying to do this, your value system switches.
I would add in.
You start thinking of things in a different way when you have people who will live after you, versus I'm just concerned with busting a nut every other night.
Well, I would say that the reason why it's become more of a focus of late. Not saying that there hasn't always been people of the LGBTQ
no, Thomas,
community.
I'm in the same spot, Thomas. I just got a different background. Ain't shit changed, Thomas. I'm in the same spot.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this is something new. The thing is, the powers that be at the top have always been into and have always been a part of the LGBTQ community. And what it is now they're just pushing the agenda and the lifestyle that they've lived in because they felt they've always had to keep it in the shadows. And they're pushing more of that. And because if you go back to the ancient Greeks, the ancient Romans, if you guys know about the term pederast or pederastry, that is that yeah. If you go into what that is, I mean that's modern day. Well, it's not modern day. Well, back in the 70s, but it's coming back around about NAMBLA. About NAMBLA.
Yo, Marcus, you part of NAMBLA?
No, hell no.
What's NAMBLA? Is that Man Boy?
Trez, you part of NAMBLA? Trez, you part of NAMBLA?
No, not anymore. They took my card away. I'm gonna have to rejoin. I remember growing up hearing that all the time, and I not recently, but I like as I was been like in my 20s, I knew what it was. It was funny.
But people were like Lone Star's like, come on now. I mean, but seriously, the elites and the elites in ancient Greece, the elites in ancient Greece used to believe you are not enlightened if you did not decide to go and get you a child that's a male. They felt like you, and they also believed that you needed
Marcus in 300, the movie. Trez, maybe you remember this too. I just shared this theme. People going to come into that. Yes, Lone Star, bring the Alphabet Crew in here because you know what? I got plenty of armor and.
Oh God, please don't fight these people too.
Anyway. No. I would like for them to come in here because I was down.
What I was gonna say is that the elites in that time period, they definitely were about you're not completely enlightened until you're fluid in your sexuality, whether that's man, woman, underage. I'll just say that's what they used to get down with. And I'm talking about like some of your greatest philosophers believed in this. We're talking about
people have very weird sexual.
Like, do y'all know where gymnasium came from?
Yeah, we know they like
gymnasium was where men used to go with no clothes and go hang out together and wrestle.
But I will say, you know what? Whenever you climb the rope, it did make your dick hard. I don't know why, but climbing that rope did make my joint hard. I didn't understand why, right?
I don't understand either. You got me confused.
I don't understand. It was just the pulling of this joint, and I'm like coming down this thing. Like I don't want to get off the rope because everybody gonna see.
No diddy.
Oh, I never understood that. I never understood why the rope climb make you do that. And I'm not being funny.
Like trying to ride it up and stuff, and like as a balance.
I never understood that. I don't know if other men in the comments or women in the comments have dealt with women who have told them that. But yeah, there was something about climbing the rope. And you know me, I always wanted to be the pull-up champ and the dude who climbed the rope the highest. And I'm climbing this rope like, holy shit, the third leg is like helping me. But I didn't understand what was going on. I never understood why.
Oh, Lord.
The last thing you're thinking about is anything sexual. You like, I'm trying to climb this shit, touch the ceiling, and then drop back down. And then your shit is like, you know what I mean? I didn't understand it.
I don't know. That didn't really. It wasn't a thing I encountered, so I don't know.
You never experienced that climbing the rope in gym?
I climbed the rope, but I didn't experience that sensation you had.
I wasn't even touching the rope. I was just trying to.
Dude, we used to race climbing the rope.
And yeah, they used to say you were supposed to wrap your leg around the rope, but I was like, yo, the police is in my head. I was like, yo, the police was chasing us, so we didn't even need to wrap our foot around the rope. All I did was just climb the fucking rope. Look, Warren said Chris climbed the wrong rope. Yo, Warren's funny. But I guarantee you there's niggas who know exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee I'm not going crazy.
I mean, maybe just a little crazy.
That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, kind of going back to the reason why I kind of jumped on, I've been looking in not just Los Angeles. I've looked in San Diego. Even worse.
San Diego's way worse.
San Diego's way worse. You're looking at somewhere decent.
Issue is, sorry to cut you off real quick, and then I'll let you go. The problem with San Diego is, and I only know this because one of my homeboys from Queens, who I grew up with, had lived in San Diego for the last decade and a half. Everything in San Diego, all of the places where he lived, they all sold their places to investors, and there's Airbnbs all over San Diego. So that drove the rents in San Diego to a level that didn't make sense for you to want to live there. Because if you live there and you are someone who is renting an apartment to a Marcus or myself or a Trez, and they're saying, well, I get $24,000 a year from them. If I put this on Airbnb or Vivo or one of these places, I can get $40,000 or $50,000 a year. Why the hell would I rent it to you and your girlfriend or you and your children, as opposed to just putting it on Airbnb? This is the thing that these are the decisions being made by the people who went ahead and invested in all of those properties in San Diego. But go ahead, Trez, I'm sorry.
I was going to address this comment from
That's funny.
Tyrants.
That's funny.
I'm not white. I might be white passing, but I am not white.
No, I think he's talking about with Warren, Baba, Lone Star.
Got it. All right, never mind.
No, I'm pretty sure.
A Trez isn't European, like in terms of. I mean, yeah, he has some European in him, but he's not that. Look, if I have to say it, look, a Trez a nigga the way that he would be treated by other people, right? Depending on where he goes, right?
Well, if you get the people from the South, you know, like my boy that was from North Carolina, he used to be like, if there's only white and black. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, so what about Hispanics? They're white. I said, well, what about Arabs? They're black. I'm like, what? What about Chinese people? They're white. I'm like, what? And so I've heard from, like, you get people from the South and they just classify damn near everybody into being white instead of black people. I'm like, you do realize how that works against black people if that's how you see everything. Exactly. And I'm like, also
don't help Marcus.
I'm like, I don't understand some people's logic. Plus, somebody brought up a good point to me. When you even if you try to split it on that black-white divide, outside of John Brown, how many white abolitionists can anybody name?
None.
Now, there were plenty. But why doesn't school teach you that there were white abolitionists? I mean, if you look, because that right there is indicative of telling you that the people who run this system, they're just not classists. They are racist. They definitely are racist. And people just don't understand how this game is being played. And so I think that's an issue that we do often run into with some of our content creator friends out there. They think everything is just about class issues. But there is a racial dynamic to it and a dynamic of trying to play races against other races. They did that with what was it called? When you talk about muckrakers, they always believed that there needs to be an underclass. And so when they started seeing some of the solidarity movements between like freed blacks and the so-called WTs or the lower rung of white society, they had to say, you know what, hey, well, the blacks that they'll do this to you. And that's when they started, like, King Kong became a thing, the big ape going after the white woman to try to stoke racial tensions. And that's how you got a lot of those lower class whites to be the KKK members and eventual skinheads and Aryan nations, and to push that divide, because they understood that if there was that divide, there was a way to always keep black people down. And if they kept black people down and they kept this fragmentation, then they knew that the population would overthrow and push most of them out. And so once they got most of the whites with converting them, oh, you're not an Italian, you're not a French, you're not an Irish, you're just white now. That still wasn't enough, because they started to see, okay, well, wait a minute, we're still having problems with them. So let's start fostering more and more division between the blacks, and let's keep the Native Americans, let's keep them all the way over there, and let's segment the that's you start seeing the segmentation of all of the different groups, whether that was Asians, Arabs, and so all of it is concerted. It's just that in this sphere that we're in, you have a lot of the white content creators who still think that race has nothing to do with anything, and it can't be any further from the truth. Just because you as this white content creator don't buy into that, and you don't see things on a racial aspect, and you don't go out and treat people according to race or let these things factor in, it does not mean that there's not a system that is doing it. That's what I would say. I don't know what's your thoughts on that.
Well, earlier when I was like just still in the chat, you were talking about like Mexican and black kind of like beef and stuff. Growing up in LA, at least for me, I grew up in kind of like in the Whittier area.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is.
So I grew up in that kind of area, and we're mostly majority like Hispanic. All of California basically is, but I always kind of was like, we're in the same team compared to white people. I always kind of felt that way. Not until like in 2015 or 2014, I went to South Africa, and that was like the first time I had an experience of like what you were just saying. If you're not, you're either white or you're black, and there's nothing in between. And I was like, what the heck? I'm like, that not in the United States. That's that's not how I felt. I thought we were on the same team, but like they just saw me as a white person, and like, I don't know if I'm going off on a tangent here anyway, but that's just
no, you're good. Keep cooking.
Just like that was the first time, and I remember being I went out there for some nonprofit I worked for at that time, and I remember going into a car, and we were like driving through like this township, kind of shack type thing, and a black cop pulled us over, and I'm in the back of the car, and I'm having not the best time of my life right here with like the coolest people ever. South Africans are awesome. I love them. But I'm in the back of the car, and a black cop pulled us over, and he's like, can you step out of the vehicle? And he's like asking me if I'm like being held against my will, because again, he's seeing a white man. He's seeing a white man in the back of a car with all Africans, and he was like kind of like concerned for my safety. And I'm like, no, we're gonna go eat. They're showing me around. We're gonna go eat. I'm fine. And they kind of like laughed it off and stuff to me. And he's like, are you sure? He was like, he was pretty serious. Are you sure you're not being held ransom or something? And I'm like, man, this the black cop is telling me if I'm okay. It was like an eye-opening experience. I've never really felt that, because growing up, I always thought, all the colors, even the Asians really in my school, were like, they can kind of pass with the white people because they did the math homework for the white people. But that's just an experience I had that kind of was like, whoa, color's a real thing, and some people see the variations of color and can kind of like, let's work together, let's be friends, blah blah blah. And some people just see black and white, and it's a lot of people just see black and white.
Well, and I tell people like where I grew up. Like I remember a conversation I was having, and they were talking about how here in California, how like a lot of Hispanics will classify themselves as white on paperwork. And I'm like, where I grew up, where Kansas City is, it's very multicultural. Whether you're on the Kansas or Missouri side, it's when you get into the suburbs and when you get past the suburbs, like Kansas, the state, is like 96% white. And when you get outside of that Kansas City area, and you still see it sometimes even in the Kansas City area, once you get outside of that area, that you are reminded very, very starkly, you are not white. I mean, you can have a little hint of a tint And I've seen here like people that I would be like, no, that person looks like they might be a little different. Not how it is there. You know, white people are like, nah, you're definitely not us. Now I get what Cuz is talking about. Yeah, they might be taken over to a point now, but not for like the state. Once you get out of that KC area, or maybe even Topeka and Lawrence, once you start getting towards central Kansas and western Kansas, it's a whole different ball game out there. And it's the same thing what you start seeing in, I would say, central Missouri and southeast Missouri, outside of the St. Louis, area, the surrounding cities. But it's
taking over now, because that's true. I mean, we're just coming back to our land.
Well, that's how I see it. I mean, you had a lot of this area was a lot of those areas were Mexico.
Maybe not Kansas, but I mean Native Mexicans are just Native Americans, the same people.
Yeah, it's the same people. Well, and then when you go into it even more so, when you start understanding like how many native tribes were fleeing and got outside of what was their tribal lands and moved into other areas, and then start looking at it as if they were Mexican, and then some of them were pushed into Mexico, and they might have been from tribes that were like in Maine originally. But now, because of location, some people are just assuming, oh, I'm a Mayan, when you might actually be a Cherokee, or you might be a Black Hawk or Mohawk or any of these different tribes. But because of how people were moved around, and especially, you factor in, what was it, Mexican Repatriation Act, where they were just taking anybody who they felt looked Mexican, and we're just shipping them across the border.
Yeah, that's what happened to my family, actually, Marcus. My great grandpa, he was born in Arizona, and he's an American citizen, and they literally just told him they just shipped him out. Also, he tried to dodge the World War II, I think, and there was two scenarios. There's like two different grandparents, but one of mine, he tried to dodge the draft and he left, and like he was never able to come back until like 1990. They forgave the Dodge draft dodgers, but he was like too old. So, but then some of my family, they deported them and they were citizens. So my grandma was one of those people. She was born in the United States as well. She got shipped out when she was like a kid, and then she had to. Even though she was born in the United States, they didn't recognize her because, to their record, she wasn't born there, but she was. So she had to like reapply for American citizenship, which is crazy. So I always felt like I'm like a third generation. Family's from Mexico, but I'm like third generation. My grandparents came back, I guess, and then my parents were born in Los Angeles. And I think that makes me the third generation, but I'm like, am I like really like 2.5 or something?
Yeah,
because
it's like you're just coming back home.
Yeah, just coming back home. But
that reminds me of one of my friends I work with. His family, as far as he can remember, has always lived in California, and he's like, my family goes back to people who were living here in California when California was its own individual country. When it got independence from Spain. And a lot of people don't know that, like, California was its own. It wasn't Mexico. It wasn't the United States. It was just California. And so he's like, no, I'm a Californian. I'm like, not like American California. I'm like California. And so when people ask me, are you Mexican? He's like, I'm not Mexican. I'm a Californian. My family never went across to the areas that were considered Mexico. Yeah. We were always in California. And I'm like, it's kind of wild that they conquered your land. And now they say, well, now you're an American, but you're a Mexican American. And he's like, we don't have any actual ties to Mexico or Mexican history, even though genetically I'm not very much different from most of the people who were across the border. I'm not officially Mexican. And shout out to Wheezy out there. What's up, brother?
You know, there's a lot of bad information going on online, particularly from the FBA ADOS crowd. You know, they're calling themselves um, Native Americans or Native Indians. You understand? And I'm saying that none of these people who lived here would have ever called themselves Indians. Matter of fact, they probably wouldn't have even known the term Indian, if you will. They never would have called themselves that. They would have called themselves whatever it is they called themselves. So I hate the conversation about this topic because there's a lot of people who are just talking stupidity. They're not actually talking anything of any relevance. So, you know, it's very hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to get into too much with a lot of these people because there's so much
You have all these black
misinformation that's being taught all over the place.
Marcus, you have Negroes with noses wider than mine, right? Looking like, right?
Well, but you got to but you got to keep in mind there are natives who had those same types of features. Now, I'm not saying I'm not making the argument that the Aboriginals are making, because I do believe there's a little bit of truth both ways. There are natives who had features that you could say would be black features, but if you actually were to go back in time and see, you would see, oh, wait a minute, actually,
Marcus, our features are so strong that if you or I were to impregnate a all-white woman or a Hispanic European woman, the offspring that you and I would create would have some sort of curly hair. Where the fuck did you come across busting in some type of woman and the offspring came out with straight jet black, straight hair?
Yeah, I'm just saying that,
Marcus. I'm just saying these things that you cannot ignore, Marcus. There's no woman that you and I would impregnate that would come. The offspring would have straight black hair.
Well, I know that that's what I was gonna say, that just because that there were natives,
you know, it's true too. That's
I was gonna say just because there were natives
you're absolutely right.
who had thick lips and wide noses does not automatically make them black people. That's what I was alluding to saying. Does that mean that there were not some black people who were in certain parts of the land here? I think both things can be true. I just think that where it gets sticky with a lot of the Aboriginal crowd is, okay, were you of that group of black people who were here? And even if you say, okay, well, we did come from Africa and we got over here and we were living independently from natives, are you those people, or are you
Marcus,
are you runaway? Are you slaves who ran away and fled to these different areas and got mixed into the population? So you could be one of the two, or are you, because some natives did actually have slaves, are you a product of that descendancy of being a slave, or possibly married into the slave? So that's what I'm saying. It's a big ball of wax, which I don't feel that nuance is put into the whole, for lack of a better word, black Aboriginal kind of conversation.
I got my DNA tested a while ago, the 23andMe thing. I regret it now, but back then I was like, they're like huge and being marketed everywhere in the Bay Area. But I did I did that stupid ass clear thing. So that company has my retina scan. And as soon as I was done, I got through the line at SFO and I sat down. I was on my way to Cuba. And I sat down and I was like, what the hell did I just do? I just gave some private company my retina scans and my fingerprints. And anyways, with 23andMe, the only like DNA that didn't come up in my like profile was Aboriginal Australian. Everything else, like I'm like mostly Iberian Peninsula, Spanish, Portuguese, but Native American from Mexico, and I got North and West African a little bit, and even Ashkenazi a little bit, and some what's it called, like Swedish, kind of European, Eastern European. Quite a mix, quite a mutt. But yeah, I don't have any DNA from Australia. That's like, and I think everyone has Asian DNA because of the Mongolians, but I have some of that too.
Mm-hmm.
I am a child of humanity. That's exactly what I say, Thomas. I always tell people that's why I have no beef with anybody. We're all family. I'm family.
You know what's funny?
Except Australians,
Marcus and I. No, I trust. What's funny is Marcus and I were talking about the Mongolians, several months ago. Their conquest is like understated. They really went crazy.
They went crazy. They went real crazy.
Well,
I'm gonna have to jump off in like 5 minutes, guys. Just
and I'm gonna probably get ready to wrap this up too, and a little bit because I need to get some food in my belly. Plus, I got a bunch of clothes all over the place, reorganizing something. But what I was gonna say is also the fact of how much of history is like hidden and buried, and I don't think people realize how much traveling people did to get to where they were and who was where and who did what. And I mean, I think that if people really understood how much migration went on, I mean, it's crazy how much a migration went on. And it wasn't just migration out of Africa, it was migration in and out of Europe, from Africa into here, into there, parts into Asia, all the way into Asia, then over to the Americas. And it was a lot of migration that went on that I don't think is factored in. And that's the reason why everybody's stuff is so mixed up and so crazy. But on that, I appreciate having you on here, Atras, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna link up.
Trez, thanks for coming through. People may not be familiar with the Trez, but his sense of humor on the 1 to 10 is on the level 12. It's very sharp. If I was on some Wu-Tang shit, his darts are sharp. His sword is sharpened. What I mean? He gets, he's able, his humor shows how sharp he is. Some people can't, some people are unable to tell people's intellectual levels because they may crack a lot of jokes. They may want to see you on some serious shit like a Fauci or a Michael Eric Dyson, but we're sharper than these people because we don't pretend.
And he also has his own channel too, which y'all need to check out, which I'm subscribed to.
Yeah, I have a own channel. I haven't really figured ever what it was about lately. I've been kind of building out a van, and a lot of the content has been about building my van out and doing some traveling.
I appreciate your drone videos too, though.
Yeah, I've been working on my drone videos.
Get a room. I don't know what get a room means. I hope that's nothing bad. I hope
it's just Dubster, which I haven't seen Dubster in a while, so it's always good to have Dubster around.
Yeah, come through my stuff. I tried to start like a political thing and did some streaming a little bit, but there's just like so much going on and everybody's talking about the same thing. I felt like kind of do my thing, so trying to find a niche between like content that people can like enjoy and just watch that's like not political, but I want to bring some of like these kinds of conversations into it. So channel will be changing, I guess, with the freedom I'm about to get leaving a relationship. But I really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys.
When you go through a breakup, it is the most inspirational shit. It is the most inspirational time in your life. is when you go through a breakup, whether that's good or bad, it just pushes certain buttons in you internally that makes you either want to create or destroy. And if you choose the creative part, you will realize, like, hey, damn, I have actually, I'm a little more talented than I may have thought, right? And the thing that's difficult is applying that throughout the breakup after the initial emotional feeling of the separation. You know, is carrying that on. Address, I don't. I know it must be tough. You know, people want to assign blame to things, and that it doesn't matter. It just matters that at one point the two people felt like they could rock with each other, and they no longer feel that way. You know, it is an emotional adjustment that you have to make in that particular situation. So, you know, I feel for you. I will not make light of your situation. I don't know of your situation. I wouldn't even ask that you even begin to discuss.
Yeah, not on here anyway.
Yeah.
People will take advantage of your personal information if they can on here.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was keeping it private, but
yeah. You know, there's plenty of people here who know about my particular situation with a certain person who used to be in this chat. You know,
they know, but they don't know. If they knew,
they know,
like,
they stay quiet. It's one of those things like, oh, I don't want to ask him. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to say it, but I saw some things. I heard some things, but that was all a while ago, and you know what I mean. But I'm okay.
It is a dumpster fire rolling down a hill with a hobo like bathing on top of it. It's just a hot mess.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys' show. I'm always watching it. You guys see me in the chat. It's a good Saturday night. Just chill and while I'm doing.
No, Atreus, I really appreciate you because your mind is sharp. I see your comments on Twitter, and I almost always
and Instagram.
And I laugh because I'm like, yeah, Atreus gets it. This is sharp, motherfucker. I get it. And Baba's laughing because Baba probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because the person I'm talking about, ran my name through the ringer. But that's okay because I'm still here, and I don't know what that person is doing, but I know that I'm still here, and it's okay.
That's right. All right, guys, take care. I'll stay in the chat until you guys close out. But
actually, you can hold here. We're about to close out right now. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to plug first before we close.
I mean, if anyone wants to follow my YouTube channel, just Atres, and that's it. Just do the @ sign. I'm not in the algorithm. I have like 300 followers or something, so you have to really put it. But that's it. Thank you, guys.
No, but Trezor, the people who have a certain number of followers, that means their followers are actually legitimate people, and it's not just because when you see people with a certain amount of followers, there's a certain amount of bots, and there's just a certain amount of people who just click the follow so that they can respond off of you and build their own platform.
Yeah. Atres is not my real name, guys. It's an acronym for something, I guess. But
correct. You just keep it at that, Atres. We don't even want to know. Look, Cardi B was online the other night crying about that there was only 8,000 fans in her live on IG the other day.
I wish.
There were only 8,000 people, and she got upset.
Link my channel. Hang on, I'll drop it real quick, and then Marcus can close out.
You see, if Baba came out to hang out with me and my people, Baba would be like, "Oh shit, you guys really know your shit."
But Marcus, when I'm gonna be down there soon, not exactly sure when, but I'll hit you up.
That's what I say. Yeah, just call me when you're down here, and we'll link up. And if Gregory out there, we link up with Gregory too.
Yo, Rockfin, what's up? Yo, Trez, just take the fucking ride, man. You ain't got shit to do on the Thursday or Friday night. Take the Friday off. Just take the trip. Holla at Marcus. That's it. I've been telling Marcus same thing. Just come to my crib. Like, E, I'm sorry when you came down here. I was like super fucking busy. I couldn't get to you, E. So my apologies. But, normally I'm really free. Marcus, I party like you don't know, not in a bad way. I'm talking about a good vibe. You just need to come fuck with me, please.
Hey, maybe I'll go to Florida.
Hey,
please.
That's a plan. That's a plan.
Hey guys, I really gotta go. I appreciate it though, but thank you very much.
All right.
Yo, why all the Spanish girls? Yo, you know what, Marcus? It's gonna sound bad, but why all the Spanish girls? Peace out, Address. Marcus, why all the Spanish girls got the bad body job?
On that note, we're gonna close out.
Mad square, son.
We are going to close out on that note.
Marcus, they got the BBLs, but they butts be so square. It's like, yo, who's your doctor?
I have no comments. I have absolutely no comments.
Marcus, this is the Colombians, the Venezuelans, the Cubans, all of the ones who actually hate black people. So this is why I have no problem making these comments. They don't like niggas. They don't even like men like me. I'm not saying I'm the God's gift to women. I'm just saying I'm a little bit easy on the eyes. They don't even like me because I'm black. And I look at them and I'm like, bitch, I would not talk to you with your square booty. The doctor did not do a good job. You look like a fucking robot. You look like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a booty. I don't want nothing to do with you. It's bad out here. All these Spanish chicks out here, all of you go to the same doctor that give you broads the square booty. Y'all need to stop going to them doctors. They not helping you. You're not turning us off. Oh, look, Baba said maybe Haktua will like you. I don't like, as I said, Baba, nah, Haktua on my joint, that's not preferable. I don't want you spitting on my joint. I don't. Not like that. The natural saliva that comes from whatever it is you're doing is fine. I don't need you to spit on the joint. No, that's not preferable. No, I'll keep it out. Maybe other people like that shit. I don't. Nah. So that Haktua really, the men online who was hyped off her saying Haktua, those are guys who watch a lot of porn. And they don't actually deal with women. Marcus will probably co-sign on that.
Hey, you've heard it here first. Yeah, not dealing with that nasty shit. I mean, somebody who's into that.
You underestimate the power of snot. No, Wesley. No. For me, I'm straight. I don't require that.
No,
not for me. If you do that for me, you're gonna actually turn me off. You're gonna actually turn me off. Then you're gonna ask me like why you're not, at attention in the way that you should be at attention because you went ahead and did that. Don't do that. Just handle your business like you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to.
I got Marcus even feeling the way. Pause.
I'm just
pause that whole shit.
I just thought that was some nasty shit, and I say y'all shouldn't be any woman should be trying to follow her example. Let her be on her nasty shit with the nasty dudes that she fuck with, and leave it at that.
Yeah. There's women who, whenever you wrap your hands around, if they got long hair, whenever you wrap your hands around her hair and you whisper certain things inside of her ear, then she gets to, never mind. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Yes, Baba, you are correct. Correct, Baba.
Yeah, that's way better. Hey, I wasn't supposed to comment. No comment on that. But on that note, you trying to get me to start saying some shit that I'm not trying to say. I'm not taking the bait, Chris. I'm not taking the bait. Tell that little devil on this side of the shoulder to be quiet. Let the angel come back and talk for a minute.
No, she don't slap you, Thomas. Of course not. She's not in a position to slap you because she's trying to take care of you. Okay? But you actually have to make her want to take care of you. You can't force it. You have to make it so that she is 1000% wanting to take care of you. If you have to force her into doing it, it's no fun. If you got to talk her into it, force her into it, it's no fun. If you quote unquote force her into it, that's only because you guys are playing a game and you are quote forcing her, right? Quote forcing her. Jonina, oh, come on, stop. You ain't slapping shit. You're supposed to handle it like a real. See, look, that's Biggie lines for Lil Kim. Sorry.
Yeah, just treat it like Atlantis Morissette.
But Andreas said that's what he likes, But as you get older, you learn that everybody.
He said, right. He needs some right now. I understand where you're coming from.
Look, I feel you. Everybody has different tastes in life, and some people might like that. Me, that's not my thing. But for those who like that, please handle your dude how you supposed to handle him. Please stop fucking around. Okay, y'all just as nasty as we are. Let's stop pretending.
So are y'all gonna stream the entertainment debate? I don't know if we'll stream it live, but I know we'll definitely talk about it because I got the feeling it's gonna be some good shit that's gonna happen in there. Yeah, I honestly, that's the reason why I honestly feel like I want to be at that convention. Because I got the feeling what's going to happen in that debate is going to lead to something unprecedented. So that's why I'm saying I'm trying to get my ducks in a row to possibly be there. And was it August to August 19th, I think. So.
Well, you tell me where I'm supposed to be, Marcus, and
I don't know. Hey, if you want to link up, that'd be perfect. Political Matrix in Chicago.
There is there's a Beres Hammond concert in Fort Lauderdale, August 24th, I believe. I don't know how many people.
You'll be able to come back in time. You'll be able to come back in time. I think the debate is. I'm not the debate, but the DNC convention is the 19th. To the 22nd.
Okay. But there's a Beres Hammond concert here down south where I'm at. I don't know how many people are into Jamaican music, but Beres Hammond is a super OG legend. That's a good time as well. So it's a good time to be down here. Marcus, today the morning started out. The morning started out here gray as hell, like it was raining. Then by 3 o'clock, the sun came out and it was straight beach weather. I've lived in the Northeast most of my life. I've lived in the Southeast, a little bit less than half my life. Yeah, fuck the Northeast. I'm going to stay in the Southeast until I die. Fuck that. Yeah. The rest of the country, y'all just can't fuck with it. I'm sorry.
So the debate's in 4 days.
When is the debate? Where is it?
It's in 4 days. It's in Atlanta.
Oh, it's in Atlanta?
Well, you gonna go up there?
No, because there's a bunch of Batima and them who would like somebody like me, so we can't go up there. No.
Plus, you know how expensive it is to go to the debates. Plus, I don't think they're gonna have an audience anyway.
No, it's no audience. It's COVID rules.
Well, I think they just don't want to have all the boos back and forth and the cheers.
No, they don't want to have people actually ask legitimate questions and to say, hey, is Biden okay? That's the only reason why. It has nothing else to do other than uh, they wouldn't make it live and they wouldn't give us a live audience if Biden was actually like the 2012 or 28 or 2008 Biden. If it was 2008 Biden, they would be like, please send the cameras. 2024 Biden is like, nah, we don't need the cameras. And your parents are really stupid. Let me just say to the audience, I'm sorry to say this, but your parents are really stupid for saying that they're going to mess with Biden and all these other things like that. You really should get in touch with your peoples because he's not really the person that's in charge. So if your people are really believing that Biden has anything to do with the United States government, the people who raised you aren't as sharp as you thought. They are kind of spoons in the knife drawer. Kind of take the spoon out the knife drawer and kind of let them know where they stand because Joseph Robinette, that's his name, Biden, he's not there. He's not there.
But
Thomas, I've been through the wind and the snow of the Northeast my entire life. The second half of my life, I ain't dealing with that shit. Fuck that. Mm-mm.
I think I'm over it myself.
Thomas, if you came down here, you see how I live and the shit that I do, you would probably be like, okay, I get it. My homeboy just came from New York last week, and he was here, and he was like, okay, I get what you've been saying all these years. And I've been trying to get him to move here. The guy I'm talking about, we met when we were 9 years old. So when I tell you I don't consider him my friend, that is my brother. I've been trying to get him down here all this time. And he spends a lot of time in Cali because his father and both his brothers actually moved to Los Angeles. So he spends a lot of time in LA and he loves LA. Then he comes down here and he's like, well, you married close to the water, dog. All right.
I just thought this was funny. I didn't know Bob was funny.
Marcus, yes, Marcus, I'm laughing at the same shit. It's funny you typed that.
I don't know why that just tickled me so much. That was so funny.
Because I read it and I was like, yo, did she really just say that? I don't think Baba really understood what I don't think Baba understood what calling herself a snow bunny. I don't think she fully understood the meaning of that. Unless maybe she did. And she was just putting it out there subliminally.
She trolling Dr. Umar.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I was stop. Yeah.
Why? Oh, see, Baba. Okay, so Baba's a virgin. She really just doesn't know. That's all.
No. It was just funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
I was hoping Biden's health made him retire and Trump's into prison, but that will only pave the way for Hillary and Haley, like I've been talking about. That's why I'm telling you, I want to be there and see the look on people's face when they announce Hillary.
Where? At the convention?
Mm-hmm. Even if they say she's gonna be the VP. Wesley, behave.
Look,
Ski suit. I was hearing something else.
No, Wesley done already pictured Baba and all kind of shit. It's okay. It's okay, Wesley. I get it. She says she's a snow jackalope. So are you saying you the aggressor? Is that what you're saying, Baba?
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. It's Gavin and Big Mike.
But I was gonna say no, never. I would never approach anyone to say anything. So that's what her. Oh shit, she said, "Girl."
The reason why I can't see them putting Gavin in, whether that's vice president or him swapping out Biden, is because they got to find a way to pacify the fake outrage from anybody who's going to be mad about Kamala being taken off. So how they pacify the K-Hive is by replacing the K-Hive supporters with the diehard Hillary supporters. And I think there's probably about the same amount of diehard Hillary supporters as there are K-Hive. Actually, there's probably far more Hillary than K-Hive. And so I think they could get away with that swap.
Marcus, if
Biden can't make it any longer for whatever reason, 25th Amendment, he had to retire, boom, automatically got Hillary as president.
Marcus, we are at a point to where the generation matters. Even if they put Hillary, it's not going to have much of an effect amongst the 21, 24, 28, or 32-year-olds. It's not. It's only going to be effective amongst the 40-year-olds and up at this point. It's going to be people you went to school with and I went to school with. I hate to date ourselves like that, but anybody younger than us, it's not going to have.
Oh, I already know. Those younger than us they're not messing with the Hillary, not at all.
No, it's only people our generation and older. That's it. They don't have anybody who is 30 and under.
What are Hillary supporters called? I call them mountain lions. I'm not going to explain what a mountain lion is. That's what they're, mountain lions.
What are Hillary supporters called? Fucking dykes. How about that?
Well, I guess some of them are, but I would say
the vast majority of them are dykes.
Well, no, it's a bunch of women who are married to men. Just probably the husbands are not really digging them so much.
So they're lipstick lesbians and dykes. Okay, fine.
But no, they're just women who are a little as Don Lemon would say, past their prime.
No, they're not past. Okay, so they're either lipstick lesbians, dykes, or they're women who no longer like dick.
No, the Hillary supporters are. They're not.
Whatever happened in their personal lives, but other than that, that's who her supporters are. There ain't no one else.
No, it's you just got just old white women. Honestly, that's Hillary supporters.
Like I said, they're 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Yeah, and no one else. For those that don't know what a mountain lion is, it is an advanced stage cougar. So once you go past cougar, you turn into a mountain lion.
No, cougars are fun. She's not even a mountain lion.
That's what I said. After you're a cougar and you went out of the cougar stage, you went past being a cougar, you're a mountain lion now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people know the difference with a mountain lion. A mountain lion need a whole lot of sleep.
Cougars are fun. I typically deal with women who are older than me, so cougars are fun. You know what I'm saying? I've got a little grade, so I don't want
the mountain lion is like, I bought you that tablet you wanted. My Social Security check just came. Now you gonna take me to bingo tonight, right?
No, that's a little bit different. Yeah.
That's a mountain lion.
Yeah, that's nursing home status.
Yeah, that's a mountain lion.
Okay, what you need, boss?
But yeah, on that note, we can go on ahead and close it out. This was a fun one. This was a fun one, impromptu live stream, and I'm glad so many of y'all hopped into the chat.
Thank y'all for tuning in. You can share it. You can share it with comments, and you can say, yo, these are the dumbest motherfuckers we know. You can share us negatively, you can share us positively. It doesn't matter to us, but just share it anyway. You know, both of us work a lot, so we won't even see the hate until we get off of work.
Oh yeah, and I'll say the one last thing. Warren still never responded to if he's going to be there, because I would love to meet Warren in person. I think Nina probably, she live in the Chicago area too, so I would love to probably have, and if any of y'all talk to John, I want to make sure to at least try to have some kind of a meet.
I've never been to Illinois.
That's why I'm saying you should go. That's why I'm saying you should go.
The further, I mean, obviously I've been to California, and the furthest west outside of California was Tennessee. So I've never spent any time in any state between Tennessee and California.
I used to love Chicago. I used to go out there all the time. Mm-hmm. Growing up, Chicago's only like 6.5 hours from KC. So yeah, that's what Miguel's talking about, Chicago meetup. That's why I'm like, yo, I'm planning this right now. So y'all let me know, I can save up my pennies and then meet y'all out at some spot. You know,
and we're not the weirdos.
Tip back a couple of drinks with y'all. Well, I'm not talking about doing nothing crazy. I'm just saying that, hey, and then we go our separate ways. Don't be trying to follow me now, crazy. Don't be trying to follow me.
We're not the weirdos who are trying to bag the women off the chat so that we could put our, joints in you. Pause. No, you don't even have to pause that, but we're not those type of weirdos. Believe us, like we're okay. It's okay. So if you come out to hang out, it is what it is. You don't have to be concerned about, oh my God, what are they going to try to do? Nothing, motherfucker, because we don't need to. That is the benefit and the joy of not needing to be thirsty like the incels or like the manosphere guys, like Fresh and Fit and all of them, all these corny.
It's like I said, that they all basically just right wingers who trying to dress it up as something else.
Correct. That's a fact.
But that said, appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all later.
Miguel, thanks for laughing at our humor, Miguel. I appreciate that.
But yeah, as I get that stuff all finalized, I'll let y'all know. Plus, I'll hit you up when I get off of here about when we plan on getting out there to Florida.
Exactly, Thomas. What did Thomas say? Chris is like to roast everyone, so it's all good. See, Thomas gets me. That's my man.
That'd be that, man. If we ever had one of these days, I pray we'd be able to link up with Thomas in person too. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yes, it would.
Yes, keep a head on the swivel, everybody. This has been the Political Matrix. I am Marcus Young Morpheus Cage.
Marcus, wait. Biden and Trump are debating this week.
Yeah, in like 4 days.
Who you got?
I got fiasco happening. That's what I got.
So you think that Trump is just going to go so hard on him that they're going to make fun of Trump instead?
I look at it like this. If Trump does do what I think Trump will do, it will actually help Biden, because he'll do so much talking over him and trying to do quips and stuff that he'll really step on the opportunity. All Trump really got to do is for the first probably 30 minutes, throw a couple of jabs and then just stay back, because once Biden's wonder juice rubs off, oh Lord, they're gonna think we're part of it. Oh goodness. Society of scumbags. Or he really gonna put the triangle in the eye out there. Oh Lord. They're gonna say, oh, Illuminati confirmed. We knew it, that they were double agents the whole time.
Yeah. So you can see like the type of energy I'm on, right?
But I honestly think if he lays back and let Biden start getting into his weird stories and talking all over himself and then start walking off into nowhere land, it could be horrible for Biden. But I think Trump is going to do so much talking that he's not going to allow that opportunity to happen.
All Trump
it's going to be a push, basically a draw.
Yeah, because Trump is going to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, or
because he talks too much. He can't stop talking. He's a narcissist. That's why he can't stop talking.
I hate that word because people have.
Yeah. That's right.
You know what I mean? But he really is a narcissist to the point to where he cannot see any fault in anything that he does. So he's going to hammer Biden so hard and look so stupid that it will probably end up in a 50-50 split, as opposed to people saying like, yo, grandpa is dead. And they just got Weekend at Bernie's going on. You know, did you see AOC and Jamal Bowen in New York? Yo, they be some corny niggas. Yo, there be a lot of people from my hood, from my neighborhood, from my city. That's so corny. Dog, it's so sad, son. Son, I be sad, low key, that these motherfuckers is from places that I'm familiar with.
Well, I mean, if you notice, like, they barely got anybody out there. I mean, think Bernie was there with them. They had
200 people.
That shows that hopefully that showed Bernie that he's completely destroyed all his credibility.
Oh, when the last time Bernie was there, he had thousands. He had 200 people there today. In more or less the same neighborhood. He went from thousands to barely 200. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah, I hopefully realize he's destroyed his credibility. Oh, I missed this story last night because my phone and everything started freezing up. Let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. I thought we were getting off here, and apologies for stringing y'all along a little while longer, but I'm gonna throw this one last story out here real quick. And the only reason was because I realized that I forgot to do it. No shit, wrong link. And if it freezes up on me, then I'm just gonna say go on ahead and end it, and we'll be done. But where'd it go? Oh, wait a minute. It's not even on here. I'm on the wrong site. Crap. Where is it at? Oh, Instagram. Here we go.
You think the bank gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga?
Oh crap. Is that it? No, that's not the right one. Never mind. That is a whole different one, which I could probably cover that next week. That's a whole different one. But what I was going to go into is they are selling African maids, like literally online. Like you can just like, I mean, it was so disgusting, the video that I saw where they had these, they were like, okay, so how old are you and your husband? And they're like negotiating with people online to be able to sell people. So it was a kind of wild story. Remind me, I guess we'll go in depth with that. I mean, I need to get off. My stomach is going crazy. Yeah, but Miguel says you cool map. I love maps. That's going into a project that about basically like reforestation that's going on, about like separating North Africa from like basically sub-Saharan Africa. So it's a whole nother topic. We'll get into all that stuff later. Just remind me. I know what Yonina probably remind me on Telegram or in the DM. So y'all let me know. But that said, we're gonna go on ahead and actually close it out. So as we said, I'm one of your hosts, Young Morpheus Cage. And here with my brother, Mr. Cy Lawson. Also, shout out to Tones earlier today. Appreciate him being on. Appreciate Actress being on too.
It is very much appreciated, Tones, that you came through and sat with us, especially a motherfucker like me who doesn't know anything that I talk about. I just be saying dumb shit, and I'm not a source that you should quote or anything like that. So thank you. I appreciate you, Tone, coming through.
All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend. All right. Peace.
Peace out, guys.